I'm Casey Suhan, one of the producers of Bold Native.
I'm Dennis Henley. I'm the writer and director of Bold Native.
Hi, I'm Joaquin Pastor. I acted in Bold Native.
It's a film about the animal liberation front, but really it's a philosophical film about a lot of issues that come up in dialogue within the animal rights movement. It's about a young man who has a cell called Bold Native that is an animal liberation front type cell, modeled after the Animal Liberation Front. And he's had to go underground. He's wanted by the FBI. And his father has been estranged from him for 5 years. Dad gets a little knock at the door, and his house gets searched by the FBI, and he finds out what his son has been up to. And he basically goes on the road, kind of going underground himself to try to find out who his son is, and along the way maybe learns a thing or two about himself. Meanwhile, his son is emerging from the underground. And then there's a bit of a rogue element too, a bit of a horror movie element to the film as well.
We chose to make a fictional film of Bold Native because we were interested in telling a story about people that we considered to be superheroes, which are people that risk their freedom for the lives of animals. I remember, I think Spider-Man was out like when we started working on the script. There was a lot of superhero movies coming out, and for us, we kind of took that approach to it, sort of like Ocean's 11 type superhero approach in a way. Like, we wanted to keep the movie from being too serious, even though it's dealing with a very serious subject. It's not supposed to be a documentary that's seriously like explaining exactly how the ALF works or explaining how, the day-to-day realities of the animal rights movement, as much as like something that portrays the spirit of it, which is a spirit that's interested in life and protecting life and has a real heart to it that I think a lot of people miss when they look at the animal rights movement from the outside. Fiction filmmaking is what we wanted to do, all of us as filmmakers. So for us it was like the ideal way to emotionally tell the story.
We wanted to make a film that was also going to reach out to people outside of the animal rights movement and maybe open people's minds to think about the choices they were making. We don't want people to think about those who do animal liberation as terrorists. It's important to us that these are heroic people, truly. You're telling this story, and they watch the trailer and they're like, oh my God, it's going to be this interesting story about people. But then, you slip in the back door. All this footage that once they see it, you can't ignore it. And one of our characters at the end of the movie says, if you can see, will you turn away and do nothing? And I think that's the question that the movie asks. And so you have to find a way to integrate that in without being too heavy-handed, so you don't have too many walkouts. And I don't think we are too heavy-handed. I hope we're not.
One night, Casey here came out, and she had just come off of a farm in Chino, and
a dairy farm,
and had just finished capturing some footage of a calf being ripped away from its mother. And at that point, just looking into Casey's eyes, I was like, yeah, that change has to happen right now. And I've been vegan since then, and it's been a very fulfilling transition. I'll be vegan for life. So
I do believe that most people's core values are compassionate. And I think that they learn how to not be compassionate in order to get by day to day. And so with art, you're able to speak to those core values and then let that seed get planted in their heart, which can then sort of grow through the concrete of these defenses we put up to let ourselves participate in an unjust world. And it can kind of break that concrete apart in a way that you can't do if you're attacking it from the outside.
Part of the reason that this film was made with I like to think so much passion and love, and the reason that we were able to make it for so little money is because there is fire in this movement, and there is fire in this story and these people's stories.
Oh, this is some of our sweatshirt text here. This is a quote from Charlie from the movie. Bold Native is not a person. It's an idea that animals are not property. They are not ours to use. They are an end unto themselves. Their freedom is beautiful, and their slavery is a horror. So that sort of encapsulates, for me at least, what Bold Native is about.